Hello everybody, welcome back. Now for my next movie review, I'm going to talk about something that's not anything to do with teen angst or werewolves or vampires or anything of that nature. In fact, I'm going to talk about a movie that's older than I am. A lot older. And in fact, this movie is so old, if it was a human, it'd be my grandmother. And I have some interesting stories about this movie. And the movie I'm going to review after this one, because it's a sequel to this movie. This movie was filmed in 1939, and it's Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind. It's got, of course, Clark Gable as Rhett, and Scarlett is Vivien Leigh is Scarlett, Ashley is Leslie Howard, Melanie by Olivia de Havilland, Mammy is Hattie McDaniel, is played by Hattie McDaniel, and Prissy by Butterfly McQueen. This movie, and I gotta tell you, this movie is like one of those, good to watch during like real bad snow days, because it's a long movie. In fact, the movie's so long, it's got like an entering music, an interact, and like a exit music, and it's good to, kind of like I said, to watch like on a snow day. But it talks about, Scarlett O'Hara, who lives on this plantation down in Georgia before the Civil War starts, and this is a Civil War movie, and how like she goes over to her neighbor's plantation with her family to go to a ball there, and she's in love with the neighbor's son, Ashley, who's played by Leslie Howard, of course, and Ashley's there with his cousin and fiance Melanie, who's played by Olivia de Havilland, and it's based on like these three characters mainly, plus Rhett Butler, which is played by Clark Gable, of course. And this is a really good movie. And of course, here's a few interesting details about this movie. The guy that directed this movie, Victor Fleming, also was in the process of directing another movie when he got yanked off of that movie and brought over to, get everybody in line on this movie. It's none other than The Wizard of Oz, and I think he got credit for both movies, as a matter of fact, back then. And part of the reason is there were certain personalities on this movie, Gone with the Wind, that were being, divas. I won't specify who. But what I find is interesting is Vivien Leigh was once upon a time married to Laurence Olivier, who, I can see why she'd marry him. When he was younger, he was a hottie, as was, Clark Gable. I would have married Clark Gable myself. He was a better looking fella. Nothing against Laurence Olivier, but I prefer Clark Gable better, and just because I've seen him in this movie, and this is a very, very sound piece of work, even though it is a bit on the long side. Like I mentioned before, you have to really be wanting to watch this movie and everything. I spent a long time looking at it because it's an extremely long movie. And incidentally, Margaret Mitchell, who wrote the book that this movie is based on, didn't want a sequel made of it during her lifetime. In fact, never wrote another book after she wrote the book that this movie is based on. Oddly enough, several years after her death, after Margaret Mitchell's death, they did do another book and a movie on that book, and I'm going to review that one here in a minute, or in a moment. But I do highly recommend Gone with the Wind, especially if you want to see one of the most famous movie scenes ever. It's the one where Clark Gable looks at Vivien Leigh and says, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," and then walks out. That's like one of the most famous movie lines like ever, and it's in this movie. This is a pretty good movie, though, like I mentioned before. So if you want to watch the famous Frankly My Dear I Don't Give a Damn scene, this is the movie you want to watch. Anyway, folks, I'm going to pause here because I want to review the sequel to this movie, so hang on, okay?